It's versus. What am I doing? What am I doing? My voice still cracks. I'm too old for that. But I'll just say it's versus on a Monday. The gang's all here. Let's bring them on and start the show. Let's get Badger,
Hey,
Verbal, My Nerdy Home, and late as usual. He's not here. Where is he?
What's up, Chris? I hear everyone is looking for Alan. Alan.
Mel Blanc did that for us.
Yeah,
it's great.
What an honor.
Yeah, it's perfect. Hey, everybody, intro yourself and let's start the show. Let's go.
glad to be back. Chris, you're going to notice your body going through some changes. It's completely natural. Just buckle on through and you'll get to the other side. Glad to be back. Can't wait to find out what you guys really saw at CinemaCon, since they don't want to release trailers.
Steph, my nerdy home, I literally stayed up all night waiting for a leaked Doomsday trailer, and it never happened. So I'm really interested in what you guys saw.
What's up, guys? Dante from Verbal Riot. And I was sexually assaulted by Katy Perry. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, well, I jumped in a time machine back to Thursday, and I saw the Doomsday trailer again. So I guess that makes 3 times.
Show off.
That's
Perfect
right.
way.
Access people.
Perfect way to start the show. Quick, want to say shout out Andrew Cram, the patron saint of this channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I want to go remind people, go to shop.filmthreat.com to check out all of our merch, including the shirt. We have a Film Threat Avengers inspired shirt. So get that and all your shirt. There's one from the Warriors inspired, Krull, and then Project Film Threat. Check that stuff out. There you go. And I want to say thank you for everyone who continues to watch our videos, even though now we have like sponsors for some of our videos. I see the complaints in the comments. You know, if you don't want to watch it, watch the commercial. Please fast forward through it.
Let's just say, if we could do this for free, we would.
Yeah, no ads for free. No, we would do it if we could do it. Unfortunately, we cannot. I noticed that other people have sponsors. I think the best one who reads them is Gary from Nerdrotic, who's live
Let me
right
tell you
now.
about Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, just no. Look, it's hard for me. Like, look.
Speaking of Blue Chew,
Birch Gold.
Chris, nobody wants your coffee brand coffee.
Yeah. Let me tell you about a VPN. Anyways, please watch our stuff and fast forward through that stuff. We see your comments. We just, it's usually only 1 minute. That's all. So, and we've got a good sponsor coming up that ties into something I want to actually talk about. So it'll be fun. But let's. It's not Blue Chew. It's not Blue Chew. But let's get into our CinemaCon wrap-up. Alan and I were fortunate. I want to make this note. Anyone can go to CinemaCon. You can buy a ticket. Mm-hmm. It's $1,400.
Oh.
Or you can submit as press. And I'll tell you now, there were YouTube channels that had far fewer viewers and subs than everyone here. There is no reason why you can't go to cinemacon.com and submit an application for press. Anyone can do it. So, and just to remind people what CinemaCon is, it is an organization. It's put on by a company called Cinema United. It's about theaters, movie theaters. They bring together all the major chains and small, like local chains, like in Nashville and Dallas and all over the country. They come here, and the studios are, yes, it is cheaper than Coachella. It's studios put on presentation for the theater owners, which frankly, it's not the East Coast and the West Coast, not, each of those. It's not New York and LA. It's theater owners, people that are very common sense. They want to fill seats, sell popcorn and snacks. the way that movies are presented is for consumers and theater owners. It's to get them hyped. So I just want to say to others out there reporting on it, you are welcome to go. Alan he took notes at every session, and if you go to our news section on Film Thread, you'll find detailed notes about every session that we went to, and here they are broken down. Broken down by studio, and then we embedded, or I think I haven't done that all yet. Embedded in like the videos from us there. So our clips. So check that out. As we talk about this, let's get into Doomsday, because a lot of descriptions have leaked about what was shown. That's the trailer. What Alan and I didn't see was the Ant-Man was in one shot, and we saw it twice, and somehow both of us missed it.
I'm pretty sure it went by in a split second.
But I'll say this: don't feel bad you didn't go. It was a first teaser that didn't really tell you anything about the story. It just showed you who are the players. Got our first look at Doom, and
very shadowy image.
How did he look?
It was okay.
He was in shadows, and I'll say this: take everything you've seen so far in Doom. For Doomsday, extend it 2 or 3 seconds, and that's what we saw. Yeah. And also we saw a lot more of Shuri, the Wakandans, Namor, and the Atlanteans.
Favorite.
Yeah, but in terms of story, even the idea that this is about the convergences, didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
So he was just in the shadows. You didn't really get to see Robert Downey Jr. because in the notes it that like his face was scarred.
No,
that is.
They're not going to drop a real trailer. I was going to say they're not going to drop a real trailer until after Spider-Man.
Yeah, I really think you'll get a full trailer. This was a teaser. It was under 3 minutes, under 2.5 minutes actually, and it was a teaser trailer. I think the timing for it is going to be San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Marvel's return to San Diego Comic-Con, and that's where you will see that trailer.
Well, because it literally has to be, right? I mean, they're betting the house on this movie.
They are.
If this movie fails, it's over, man. Like, and that's not even hyperbole. Like, they are banking the house on this.
Yeah.
They're saying we need to do better than Superman.
Well, Supergirl, a lot of people have said like that was probably one of the weakest.
Yeah.
The weakest of everything.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. So let's get the Doomsday stuff out of the way. We're here with you guys. We've seen the trailer. What do you want to know? And before you ask any questions, I'll tell you one thing. It has been reported by people that influencers were flown in to CinemaCon, which is fine. CinemaCon has a right. If the studios want to pay to have people there, kind of like a cheering section, like when you go to see your sports team and it's an out-of-town game and maybe you drive to Phoenix to cheer on your team, it's like bringing in people that are going to cheer. We were sitting next to, Alan and I, next to a group of people that whooped and hollered in an over-the-top way during Disney and Marvel presentations.
Yeah.
That was, it felt fake. It felt super fake.
Were they filming themselves while they were doing that?
No. Not
yeah, if you see some of the videos, it was like, this is a little over the top. I get it. We're excited, but these are people in the business. Okay. So
yeah, but dude, I mean, again, they have a lot to lose, man. Like, and I'm talking about Disney. I'm not even talking about Warner Brothers and the other studios. Disney has a lot to lose. So yeah, they're doing everything they can to get hype for this movie, man. Because I mean, if you look at what's happening with Grogu and Mando, no one cares. No one's even talking about it, right? They can't afford that with Doomsday too. People need to be talking about Doomsday. So if they got to hire a little cheering section to go in there and hype up the movie, then that's what they got to do, man. But I mean, if you look at all the layoffs, they can't afford. This movie has to be like easily their bestseller. It has to be.
Well, it feels also like, I mean, Dune Part 3, if you made listed the 5 best presentations and big hype movie, Dune Part 3 was one of those 5 that we saw. And there is palpable like excitement and hype for it.
And you might be a little biased too.
I'm a little biased. That's okay. But others have said it, you know,
but
others
also like there's no pressure on Dune to succeed, right? Not in the same way there is for Doomsday. I mean, yeah, obviously Warner Brothers wants Dune to succeed, but there's like the degree of pressure is completely different.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be a $1 billion blockbuster. You know, that pressure is off.
No, it does need to be $1 billion. It just need to be $2 billion to break even, like fucking Doomsday.
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking Dune.
Did Doctor Doom stop Thor with one hand, and is he using a British accent?
With 2 hands, and yes.
Oh, so it wasn't fingers. Didn't I saw?
No, it wasn't
fingers.
Like it was like a real battle. You wouldn't use your fingers in a real battle when you have 2 hands.
How would you describe the accent?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's not, he's not Tony Stark.
It said heavy British is how it was described.
Yeah,
well, let's see Robert Downey Jr. You and I were in the balcony, Alan.
Yeah.
So we did not see this view. This is RDJ entering the Coliseum at Caesars. Here he is. Let's watch this real quick.
Oh, there we are.
My God, here we are. CinemaCon is on. It's on.
That is a shiny suit, man.
Yeah, look, being in the room, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But people were way over the top when they were, when they were going through this whole presentation.
I mean, you got to hand it to Warner Brothers to not bring in influencers to not respond during Supergirl.
What's funny is Supergirl got the weakest reaction of almost everything that we saw.
Yeah.
So here, but the big thing that not enough people are talking about is that they've invented this thing called Infinity Vision, which is like, because they don't have IMAX screens, they're created a fake new premium format that already is your local theater. They're going to give certification to certain screens that are, and they're branding it Infinity Vision. It's not
all that tells me is they have no faith in this movie.
Exactly.
Well, it's their response to Dune Part 3 getting all of the IMAX screens for like the first 3 weekends. So they had to invent something and make it seem as if like they're building theaters, which a lot of people thought that they were building movie theaters, and saying that, oh, look, this is like Disney Infinity Vision, and it's like, no, it's not. They're just recommending which theaters to go watch Doomsday at.
I can guarantee you no theater is going to spend money to get Infinity Vision certified.
I mean, Cinemark has Cinemark XD. It's just the bigger screen and sound. And now I'm spoiled. And like when they do re-releases, if it's on the OG small ones, I don't really want to watch it. I'm assuming they're just talking about those, and then they'll just give it their seal of approval.
Well,
exactly
the
right.
3 criteria is the size of your screen, whether you have minimum laser projection, and then it's your sound system.
Size matters. I heard you.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, Doomsday could have had an IMAX release if they had, released like a month earlier, like in November or October. They could have had their IMAX screening.
Well, it's very clear to us that the date is not changing.
Yeah, they're
right.
Steadfast. I have a couple predictions, but just to let you know, finish up the Infinity Vision thing. They already brand screens like at the AMC Burbank 16. They have your IMAX, right? Then they'll have IMAX 70 millimeter. They have the Dolby Theater, which has reclining seats and the sound and Dolby image. They've got the laser, the XD, the Screen X, they already have branding because it's proven people will pay for premium format screens. Infinity Vision is a completely made up thing.
Yeah.
So, and the first release in Infinity Vision will be Avengers Doomsday in September, where they will have additional new footage to tie in with Doomsday. So Endgame is coming out.
Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame. Sorry,
Mhm.
Endgame is coming out in September in Infinity Vision with never before seen footage, which I believe they're going to have like a new post-credit scene to tie in directly with Doomsday. So
Yeah.
it'll be it's a dry run for this format.
They made it
could-
seem like it was
Because
deleted.
remember, now it leads straight into Doomsday. Endgame leads straight into Doomsday now.
Yeah, it's not never before seen. It's just we just recently shot.
right. Right.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. They made it seem like it was deleted scenes that they're just adding back into it, but then another one made it seem like no, it's specific scenes they shot during Doomsday that are in the period of Endgame, like it's flashbacks, whatever, that they're now adding so it bridges better.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're gonna try this out in September. We'll see. I have a prediction that they will do because look, announcing like the Odyssey announced ticket sales a year in advance. Okay. So opening weekend and on premium 70mm IMAX, those tickets are gone. They're already sold same way, 70mm IMAX for Dune Part 3. They haven't announced tickets on sale yet for Doomsday. I predict they'll do early fan screenings on the 11th because that date is open. There's nothing. Jumanji moved from December 11th to the 25th. So
Can we clarify something about Doomsday though?
Please.
I keep seeing everyone like, oh, fucking MCU, they're ignoring phase 4 and 5. It's like, I think that's funny, but no, they're not. It's just picking up the story after Endgame with characters from 4 and 5. If they were ignoring phase 4 and 5, there would be no Shuri and new Avengers and all of that shit.
Yeah, need I remind you, Gambit and Shang-Chi are gonna have a fight.
I can't.
How did that look?
I mean,
it was okay.
Was it just like a couple of seconds that go by?
Somebody's like Gambit.
The two of them.
A couple seconds. Yeah, I mean, like the
They had their
teaser,
glowy weapons. That's
I'm just
Yeah.
it's really surprising they did not release it. But here's another thing to look for. When they do release the Doomsday trailer, there'll be a countdown. You'll know they'll do the teaser for the teaser, like 15 seconds. Tomorrow, they'll have a countdown clock for the trailer up, and then it'll be a premiere, right?
Doom comes.
people-
phrasing.
Yeah, like that's how they will release it. But I actually think this is smart. This gives them more hype because they have dropped the ball a lot. And I will say they feel kind of desperate. Alan, you were there.
yeah. It reminds me of Star Wars when J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy took over. They're trying to manufacture excitement for something they really didn't plan well.
You know what though? They were warned over and over, man. They laughed at us. They tried to belittle us, call us names, and say all this other shit about how we don't matter. They brought this on themselves. So, if the movie's good, that's cool. But if they fail, I'm good with that too. I'm perfectly fine with them failing.
I'm curious about the trailer. At this last part, from like the trailer description says Steve Rogers approaches Thor and says, "Hey pal." Thor says it's not possible. Steve reaches for Mjolnir and leaves, and it leaves Thor's hand coming to his.
Yes.
How is Steve
Accurate.
Rogers dressed?
I'm sorry. What? Oh, civilian
Rogers.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Civilian
street clothes, just street clothes. He's got a beard, and he just holds up his hand, and Mjolnir goes to his hand.
The thing
They're
is,
never
though,
gonna call him
they
Captain.
have a reason. They have a reason to be nervous about this, man. Like, Endgame and Infinity War had 10 years of prep going into it, man. This had nothing. They were fucking with Kang before, like 2 years ago, right? So they have a lot to be worried about, man. Literally, they're just throwing people in this movie, right? And maybe there's a story. But I'm assuming it's not going to be a great story, considering they've only had 2 years to kind of really get this thing going.
Well, yeah.
I think
No
they have
one's
a
followed
reason to
for it.
be nervous about this.
You know, to your point though, the first few phases, every movie was a build up to Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
There were clues. We knew who the villain was. We knew the Infinity Stones and the place that they were going to play. And then Thor Ragnarok, whether you liked it or not, set up the early moments just as Infinity War began. There was excitement being built, and none of that is here. And again, like I say, it just feels like Star Wars, the sequels, bad planning or zero planning. We're just shooting from our hip right now.
Well,
Right.
it was an experiment. I feel like those last couple of phases were experiments for Marvel. Let's see how this does, because there really was no overarching story. Now, some people have said like, oh, they introduced the multiverse. Okay, but how are they using that? And where is it going? What is it leading to for Doomsday? And like literally nothing. When I'm watching these shows, there's just like no overarching story. There's nothing leading to anything. It really does feel experimental.
Well,
And that's why like the first few phases up until Endgame were so good, because you knew that all roads led to Thanos. Like that's it. Like that is that final battle with Thanos. And then Infinity War was outstanding. We had our heroes just completely at a loss because they lost, and we saw them lose and we felt for them. And then in Endgame, they came back. And so, like, that was their goal, was to defeat Thanos, whatever it took, right? Whatever it takes. And so now, what what is going on? Like, there's really nothing.
It's whatever
leading
it
up
takes
to that.
again.
Nothing.
Oh, here's I have an idea, and Marvel, you're welcome to steal it. One of the best kind of side characters from the Ant-Man movies is the character of Lewis, played by, is it Michael Pena, right?
Yeah.
oh,
And when he would tell that kind of weird story that connected kind of to, he could just say, oh, well, let me tell you. And he just explains away every little loose thread. There's about, there's more than 10 different loose threads.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Shang-Chi's rings contacting space. You've
'cause
got,
there's cosmic. By the way, isn't like the whole point of this that they're having incursions with, like, the multiverse is the direct reason why this exists, because they did all these fucking worlds,
Right.
and now they have to do the incursion storyline.
Yeah,
So
Right.
I feel like we
That's
know
what we
exactly
understand
what
from
the
Robert.
story is.
you could have Lewis, who ends up being revealed to be the Watcher, explain all these things away. It would be, I mean, you could do that. You could do it. Marvel, you could figure out a way to do that and make it funny.
Dude, when the CW did Crisis on Infinite Earths, it was more coherent than what I'm getting from Doomsday right now, and that was a CW production. I think Disney has a big reason to be afraid right now.
Well, let's do this.
And by the way, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. was the first sign of desperation.
Let's talk about Supergirl. And there's a reason I want to show you this clip from Matt Baloney's podcast, The Town. Here's why. We've been talking about Supergirl like it doesn't look good, looks too much like Guardians. I think it's going to bomb. And then what happens when we say this? People come after us. They come after you. They come after, oh, the chuds are going to hate this. They're going to hate this. Why don't we see some industry people in the industry who cover, like, for these are the trades, right? The Town represents the trades. They're saying the same thing we're saying. You can't deny it. Here's from The Town with Matt Baloney, his podcast it's now on YouTube, and check out what they say about Supergirl. Sounds familiar.
Is on this stage, and I don't think either in terms of the presentation itself, which featured Jason Momoa and Millie Alcock wearing a Chanel Supergirl sweater that I think we're going to ask to be returned after her. She just wasn't prepped. Much like David Corenswet was not prepped last year. But
I don't understand this. They had negative feedback to that part of the presentation last year, and this year they just ran it back. They did the exact same thing.
And somehow it went even longer. The presenters were less ready, even though the questions were the most softball questions. It was, what was a specific scene that you enjoyed? Millie Alcock did not have an answer. There was no one feeding her one specific moment. This is press training 101. I do not know how it happened.
And Peter Safran is actually good and fun in these situations at co-head of DC. At one point, he asked her what it was like working with the dog. Punch me in the face.
And she also was like, there was no dog.
Yeah.
She's
like, don't believe what
That was
you
the first
see
question,
on the
by the way.
screen.
Do not admit there's not a dog.
I know. Like, the dog? I'm supposed to pretend that I acted opposite a dog? That's CGI.
And then I have to be honest, the footage that they showed was never ending and dire, in my opinion. I thought that looked
She just had no
quite
charisma.
bad.
She had no charisma, was not prepped.
No.
Why does
and
he hate women?
It was just embarrassing. Like, if you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
And
They sound
I
so
felt that
sexist
way
right now.
over and over
I know.
again, where they did the same thing as
Well, I
last
expect
year.
that from white people.
They bring people out to have a conversation where the questions are written by 10 publicists. They're approved by 4 publicists for each talent.
But yet no one's
And-
given answers?
And it's just a whole lot of nothing.
The thing is that there are some people who are really good at this kind of thing. We saw a few examples of it this week. We saw Jack Black. You just put Jack Black on stage. He's been performing on stage for 35 years. He's incredibly comfortable in environments like that. He knows how to hit his laugh lines. He knows how to be exciting. The Rock vamped during the Moana presentation for 10 minutes because he's extremely gifted at that kind of thing.
I guess so. It was fairly aimless and about being a girl dad and empowering women, which I tuned out at some point.
Honestly, if you put 95% of
Here's what I'm saying. How come we get attacked online for saying exactly what they're saying?
You know why? Because when
We're
we
the
say it, we're
chuds.
just grifters. Yeah.
Because we're diverse and these 3 people are white.
They're racist.
This has been
Wow.
going on for a while now,
Oh
though.
my God.
We start getting prestige articles where they explain that, like, the message is kind of ruining. It's like, yes, we've been saying that for quite some time, but it's kind of like a lot when Trump does something right. And then if he does something right, they can't give him any credit and they hate him just because he did it. If we say something correct, they hate us so much they can't acknowledge it's true until one of them says it.
I think that we were saying all of these things in a time where you had to be politically correct. You had to push
Right.
the
Fall in
message. You
line.
had to do things like this, or for fear of getting canceled. So all these people like stepped in line with that, and we didn't. We refused to. We acknowledged the reality that we were seeing, where they weren't acknowledging reality. And now it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's over. So we can actually say what we really think and what is really going on.
Well, this is my point is we have been saying these critiques for a while about what the film looks like, and that others in the industry now feel comfortable, because I think behind closed doors, the kind of conversation they have are very realistic in terms of that looks like crap. That looks terrible. And the footage we saw, the Supergirl, it is an interminable 5-minute scene with a diverse group of Ravager women, by the way, who board a space bus vessel to rob people, and Supergirl is depowered because she's not near a yellow sun. So that plays out over the longest time, and it was so dark. Like, turn on, do they not have lights on starships? It was, Alan and I were looking at each other like, what? This is, and they hyped it as like, we got to show you this action scene from Supergirl. And then the diversity was so dumb. They had like an Asian girl, a black girl, a white girl, but they were colored like orange, blue, and green, like painted, like their faces. So they were diverse.
I do detect a bit of a sea change in the sense that they are calling them out now. First, the Hollywood Reporter saying that DC lost. Like, I'm shocked they said that. And then Superman Day came out. They did fuck all, except try to make it about Supergirl. And the press talked about that. Like, some sites I would normally say would be shill adjacent are calling them out. Like, I don't know. I think even they realized that this was just a fancy lie to make Warner Brothers seem profitable.
Well,
and now Gunn is just writing out the rest of his time.
This has been going on a long time. If they put out a slavery movie, well, you better like it or you're racist, or some kind of misogyny movie. You better like it because or you're misogynist. And I think it's finally caught up to where now it's no, the movie has to be good, and
right. But the thing I don't understand is okay, whether the movie's good or not, that's neither here nor there. But when you have like an event like CinemaCon and you have Millie Alcock or whatever the fuck her name is there,
Alcock, all of
You know,
Alcock.
everyone who says her name,
Yeah, we have
always
Millie
pauses and
Alcock
has to
there.
say it again.
Why didn't you prep her for this?
That's
Why
exactly
didn't she
right.
has to
Yeah.
answer questions, man? Like
You want me-
she has to sell this movie, and there was
Bro,
no prep.
You want
Why
me to go
does she
over the
need
questions?
prep?
I have it in my notes. So the first question was, they brought it up. It was, what was it like working with a dog on the set? And they had to admit, there was no dog. It was movie magic. Then they asked Millie, what do you remember? And her response was everything. Then she says, this will be the first Supergirl that a lot of young girls will get to meet. Then
Wait, what?
okay, then they hold on.
Did
Then
you
they
really
go
say
to
that?
Kamala Harris.
Hold on, it gets better. Then they go to the director, and well, what was it like working with Millie as Supergirl? Well, Millie was great. She learned 5 alien languages, and she needed to learn action sequences. And Jason Momoa steps in. Well, I only got 15 days of shooting, and I had a badass motorcycle. And then he finally says, "What will audiences talk about after seeing Supergirl?" And she says, well, it will be inspiring to so many kids to see a complex female hero. And then they talk about how this is designed to be theatrical. I mean, that is what we got. And you could tell that they were not confident in the words they were saying, and they were fumbling around, and they were probably also looking for words to say. These people were not prepped at all. Only Jason Momoa had the good, had
even-
something to say at least.
I was gonna say, like, was she just incredibly monotone? Like, there's no hype around it, because even with, I was looking for all of these Supergirl interviews, after the fact, and the only ones that I could find were the ones from like Entertainment Tonight. And Jason Momoa seems like really hyped because he actually likes the character of Lobo. He's read the comics, and so he was really itching to play this character. And it looks like he had a lot of fun. Millie Alcock looks like she would rather be anywhere else but CinemaCon.
You know what it is? Look, I've been doing improv for like well over 25 years. And I know it when I see it, but when people step on stage and they are low energy, that they just bring the room down. And that's what she is. She did not have any energy, any joy in the character. She was an actress doing her job. And maybe that's a personality trait. She's just not an outgoing person. But when you
Alan,
step on a
that
stage
doesn't
like that,
matter,
hold on,
man.
when you step on a stage like that to promote your movie, you need energy and excitement to rev everybody up in the room.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, because I think that like something like that would work with like Jenna Ortega, because she's playing Wednesday. So like that character, I mean, you expect like someone like her to be playing that character. Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl. And granted, I know that in this story, she's not like the Supergirl like that we all know and love. It's, within this story, she's playing a different someone who's really, really depressed and dealing with her planet being destroyed. But she's still Supergirl. Like she's still playing Supergirl. So you want to sell that you are Supergirl. And she just like, what these interviews that I was watching from her, I was just like, yes, I'm really excited to see this movie being seen by young women. And I think that it needs to be seen by young women.
You're absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, I'm not understanding why
you mentioned Jenna Ortega.
I don't want to see this.
You mentioned Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega brings energy to low energy characters, and that's why even Wednesday is an exciting character to watch, because that's the actress who portrays it. But you bring it right up. You cannot go on interviews. You cannot be promoting this movie without any kind of excitement for what you've done or any kind of pride for what you've done. Dude, otherwise, no one's going to believe it.
Even Ryan Reynolds had energy for Green Lantern, okay? Like, he knew that was a piece of shit. But even he brought energy to that. The thing is, like, these actors, man, like, they think that their job is just to read lines. But it's not, man. They are salesmen for their product, man. This is $100 million product that she has to sell to the public. And she didn't do it, man. And maybe it's her fault. Maybe it wasn't her fault. Either way, though, it falls on her because she's the leader of the movie. And
why would she need prep at all? These are the easiest fucking
Yeah.
questions to
I
answer
know.
if you actually
Yes.
were
I don't
involved in the
understand why
thing.
she
Hold
would
on,
keep
let me
referencing-
finish.
No, Badger.
We're all
I'll
interrupting each
explain
other.
it.
I don't need to explain. I want to keep going. If
Okay.
she filmed this and someone asked, what's your favorite scene? Where's the, flying for the first time, getting to be a
Yeah.
part of this huge action sequences, getting to talk to David, even though I didn't interact with him on screen. Like, these should be very easy to say, unless it was just complete slop and she was against a blue screen most of the time, didn't understand what she was doing or saying, and just said the lines on paper.
Honestly,
Right, but
the
here's the thing.
interviewers
Even
had
if she
more
doesn't believe in the project.
enthusiasm than she did. Yeah, the interviewers asking the questions were like so hyped about her playing this character and really giving her the answers, right? Because there was one question where they're like, you were in this film and you got to fly, you got to fight, you got to do all this stuff. What was one thing that you got really good at? And she's like, one thing that I got, I've never done stunt work before. But I think I got like really good at like trusting myself. I was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
She gave you answers. You could have just thrown something out.
And by the way, when I say prep, I'm not talking about like sitting there reading notes before you go on. I'm talking about like getting yourself prepared mentally, emotionally, physically. Because when you go out there, you have to be on, right? She wasn't on. And her movie will suffer for that.
It's why Disney fired all their publicity. Warner Brothers didn't. So there had to have been someone on staff who could have helped her with all this
Well, I
stuff.
will say this: Warner Brothers was among the best presentations at CinemaCon, with the exception of the DCU stuff we saw. Yeah. We had a pre-tape message that was like 15 seconds from James Gunn, Nicholas Hoult, and David Cornsweet saying, "We're excited to tell you about Man of Tomorrow. We'll see you next year." That was it. Yeah. That was literally it. And then they showed Clayface. They showed a teaser for it. It looked like a David Cronenberg body horror movie. It's like a guy who has an accident. His face is kind of like a nothing face play, and he's in some kind of romance with some girl. It felt almost a little Joker-esh.
Yeah, you know what it is?
I was about to ask you about Clayface.
You know, you have that kind of horrific imagery, you know, that body horror type stuff. But in the back of your mind, you know, well, this is a DC superhero movie. And that undermines any terror you get from watching those shots.
Look, I love weird shit, man. Like I love, like, especially when it comes to horror, and I'm into it. Clayface is a great villain. He's one of my favorite Batman villains. My problem is just that, again, man, the direction of the studio is killing me, man. I don't know why we're getting a Clayface before a Batman movie. Like,
I do, because James told us. He said they needed DCU content, so he took Mike Flanagan's script that was supposed to be for an Elseworlds movie and put it into the DCU. But the problem is he's already done Matt Hagen, Clayface, and Creature Commandos. So now we know that's the same Clayface, and we're once again introducing a famous villain for a character that doesn't fucking exist. Sony just proved how bad this decision is by doing all the Spider-Man movies with no Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But to your point about Creature Commandos, if nobody watched it, did it really happen?
More people watch that than Starfleet Academy, but also
but still no one's gonna care what happened in Creature Commandos.
Well, if you want a breakdown of everything that happened at CinemaCon, we've got like 5-6 stories on the site. Go to filmthread.com. Check out the news section for that. But I gotta say, I was really underwhelmed by Superman and Supergirl. It was just underwhelming. But here's something to get hyped about. Prepare for the Superman experience. Are you guys ready?
No. Yeah.
Wait, this is real?
Yep.
This is real. I'm going to show it to you right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it to you. You know what the Superman experience is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to show you.
It's an accident waiting to happen. You're going to be punching the person next to you.
Yeah, this is a VR game
where you play as Crypto.
You can play on the lot and get drinks.
Warner Brothers lot, yes.
Yeah, and you put on a headset and play this game.
There's Gary.
It's based on the gun Superman.
It's like Spider-Man at California Adventure, it looks like.
So why is it that everything coming out of this?
Do you have the actual trailer?
This is it right here.
No, there's an actual trailer.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, here, share my screen.
Okay, sure, Badger. Appreciate Let's watch the trailer.
Yeah, it's a minute long. So
Hold on. Yeah.
1 minute.
You too can have this amazing experience.
Let's go.
Aw.
Leave the crypto.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Defenders of Earth, Superman needs our help.
Ready for your first real mission?
I'm Gary, and I'll oversee your training. Let's try punching some moving targets.
Keep your arms forward and aim together.
Massive object detected in outer space. It's Darkseid's command ship.
He's after the Chaos Shard. Let's fly after it. We can't let that ship reach Metropolis.
Kids are gonna be like, "Who's Darkseid?"
Right.
I'll take to the skies. You protect the people of Metropolis. Earth needs you. Everything you've learned led to this moment. We're going in. Let's finish this.
Now that's super.
Yeah, so it made news because that was basically our first look at his version of Darkseid, assuming that that's what they.
Yeah, go back to
do.
the dark side.
Yeah.
But that's right out of the comics. Dark side.
Yeah, but he's like got
terms
a
of
waterhead
design.
baby thing going on.
There you
And,
go.
yeah. Yeah, so there's
I mean,
Dark
it looks
Side.
fine for kids.
Sure.
They're really trying to promote the WB tour.
Well, the only thing realistic, I've been on that tour. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's above average, yes.
Yeah, but the only thing realistic was the kid being outdoors on a blanket with an iPad. That was very realistic. That's very LA. I'm outside. Where's my iPad?
Yeah, which is the plot of Toy Story 5.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which actually looked very good.
By
What
the
do
way,
we
speaking of,
Yeah.
was there like a lot of Mando and Grogu talk at CinemaCon?
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Well, what do you guys think of this?
It looks fine. It looks fine.
It's apparently an hour-long experience.
That's an hour long.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know how many
I think
batches
it
they're
comes-
gonna have.
Trying to see if I think it comes with the tour.
So it's like part of the tour,
Yeah.
and then you get to do this.
Like you'll go through the Warner Brothers lot. You'll go through a Harry Potter exhibit. I know there's a DC exhibit as well.
Okay, so the tour is an hour long. This is just part of that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's $40
Okay.
for adults, $30 for kids.
I wish they would realize that every single fucking person besides the actual Superman movie, when they do David in the Superman suit, they make it tighter, they make his muscles visible, they make the emblem bigger, and yet we're still stuck with that motocross suit. But every other time you see it, they fix the suit to look better.
Yeah.
Well, having been on the older tour, I got to see like famous cars, like the '89 Batmobile.
Yeah.
You know,
The prop house is the best part of the tour.
prop house. The costumes. I saw all the Zack Snyder costumes.
It's
Which
cocktail
were-
hour. Hey guys, drink and then swing within 2 feet of people next to you.
Right?
They're gonna have to add barriers.
Yeah, I can see some accidents happening
Yeah.
because of this. Oh my god. So
I mean,
All right.
that looks fine for kids, right? But I don't know. As an adult,
Coming to
I don't think
MetaQuest
Yeah, I wouldn't.
soon.
hey, let's go to Soups and we have more stories. And here hey, look who's
Box
here.
office. Shout out.
Box Office Brawler became a YouTube member. Box Office Brawler, guest of the show, friend of the show. He will be back. Good to see you, B.O. B.O.B. What do you what do I call him?
Brawler?
Brawler.
Now,
Oh,
would he
Brawler.
qualify for children's tickets? Is that?
Aw. Student discount. Not another name for 5. If you are making movies which have to be successful, no matter what, you know it's been over a long time for you.
Yeah.
Jason Nelson for 2. Did you get to meet Black Nerd Comedy at CinemaCon?
Yes, not only meet, I see him at my local AMC Burbank 16, and I see Black Nerd Comedy at San Diego Comic-Con at screenings. Yes. There were a lot. This is why I'm saying that, like, you know, you guys all on the, you can apply. I was texting Dante this weekend. I said, you got to go. You got to go.
Well, getting a ticket was one thing, but then like staying in Vegas is a whole nother price
Yeah.
tag. So
That's true.
Unless
like
you
Vegas ain't cheap no more.
It isn't.
Andrew
There's nothing to do
Crampton,
like before.
what is the purpose of Lobo the bounty hunter in the Supergirl film if he's not out for a bounty? Yeah, I was always saying, I bet you he worked for Brainiac trying to collect her for Brainiac's. But no, it's none of that. They just meet in a bar and he ends up helping her.
Yeah, that's
he
pretty
helped
much it.
As Lobo does. Just helps
Sure.
people.
Only shot for 15 days. 15 days. That was it.
Let me guess. Brainiac is really the hero. And
CB the Legend for $4.99. Family renting D-Box Theater for Doomsday. My grandma is coming when she heard RDJ is... God, that sounds horrible. My grandma is coming when she heard RDJ is coming back on local news. Yes.
It will surely be an event. And that weekend is going to be kind of crazy. In terms of, you've got two movies that are kind of longish. Although the reported runtimes for both films are inaccurate. I don't think
that long.
I don't think Doom Part 3 is 2 hours and 20 minutes. We did see the first 7 minutes of it. Doom Part 3. People are going to like it.
I will say this though: if Robert Downey Jr. can save Marvel, he deserves whatever price tag he asked for.
Yeah.
If he can do it,
you know what?
Let's say he got paid very little for Iron Man.
Well,
500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
how much for Iron Man 2?
Renegotiated. He got paid quite well. Yeah.
He didn't get paid until really after Infinity War or Endgame, and they just backed up the truck full of money for him.
Yeah.
Pharaoh of Vibes for $9.99. Why is the Superman experience being sold as family fun time when the movie was not family fun? Crybaby Superman getting his butt whooped while being told that he's punk rock. Give me a break.
Yeah, I don't think, even for people early on who were like, I remember my reaction seeing it was like, well, it's not a disaster, but it's not great either. It was kind of this like, and I wasn't even quite sure.
I have a hard time shitting on that movie because I feel like Corn Sweat was very earnest. I felt like he wanted
very good.
I felt like he wanted to do a good job and wanted a better movie than what he got.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel bad for the guy.
I mean, I was fine with the movie, but I definitely wanted a different movie, or was expecting a different movie.
I think he was expecting a different movie.
Mm-hmm. Jan Hugh gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you.
Thank you. It's awesome.
CB the Legend for $4.99. My wife and mother-in-law wants to watch all the MCU movies. Just finished Cap America 1. They didn't like it. Oh, they did like the first Thor movie though.
Well, then don't watch any of the other Thor movies. They go off the rails. It's like they're like different movies.
Pharaoh Vibes for another $9.99. Can't wait to see this mess that is Doomsday. Marvel is desperate to get us back. I agree with no build-up, no hype, just shills screaming for us to enjoy it as if it's bad to critically think.
Yeah,
there is. It doesn't feel like there's hype. There's genuine hype for Dune Part 3. That cast, they brought out Jason Momoa, who was already there, Timothée Chalamet. There's all sorts of funny videos of him walking through the casino, trying to get to the Coliseum. And then Zendaya was there. They brought out, like, they were there to hype it. Oh, here we go.
By the way, Momoa walked by us in the casino.
That's right. He did walk right by us.
Was there a definite like difference in like crowds between like Doomsday, Marvel, and Dune Part 3?
I mean,
like, could you feel a difference in the crowd, like excitement?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same crowd every session because they all
but like, how is the hype different?
Yeah.
There was
definitely felt like that Disney adults were on hand during the Disney presentation.
Disney adults were overreacting to everything. Like,
compared to everything else, yes.
And
so there's like genuine reaction to and excitement to Dune Part 3, whereas like Doomsday was just they're overdoing it.
The biggest non-Disney reaction was Spaceballs. 100%.
That was amazing.
That makes sense.
Rick Moranis coming back. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh. Great.
Sorry, GraphWeb will yell at me later. For 2, cancel Disney Plus. Okay.
All right, glad you got that.
Let him yell at you.
Thank you, GraphWeb.
I just don't want to be yelled at. Mr. Dave Innocent for 2. Do you think Marvel is done with the girl boss? No.
No, I don't think so. I
No,
think
no,
Yeah,
no.
Cassie Lang is coming back.
They're going to try to hide it, but
there was not a lot of women in that trailer.
Like I said, they're going to try to hide it.
Well,
Doomsday will come out.
I'm dying for the Avengers Doomsday trailer to come out because I'm just gonna repost it and make one comment. I'm gonna say they made Marvel male again. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
And then
viral post.
I've got it written. I'm waiting. Like, where is the Doomsday trailer? That's
Doomsday and Secret War will come out, and they'll get people back, and then they'll reset with X-Men, and Jean Grey will be the star of it, and they'll just start over again with the messaging.
Jean Grey should be.
Yeah. For 40, is WB really going to distribute Ramayana?
I believe so. I mean, we did a trailer reaction. We saw the poster at CinemaCon. I mean, it's coming out later this year. So get ready for it because we will cover it. I don't care how long it is. We're going. We're going. Hey, Starfleet Academy was a favorite for everyone here. But did you know the Star Trek auction is live? That's right. It is live. We have it here. And there are items, and they're not as expensive as you would think.
Let's get the skirt that Jay Din wears for Robert.
Yeah, I'll show you what's around. I mean, so the only thing is you have to pick stuff up in person. So there's look at this massive prop MRI machine with controllable LED lighting, $40, 8 bids. There are chairs. There are, these OLED TVs are going for about what you would buy one for, but they're used. Look at this, the chairs. Oh, wow. They were 75 opening bid. Now they're going for 100, 200. There it is. There's the chairs.
And they've all been disinfected from athlete's foot.
Well, I was about to say, they don't have molds of the captain's feet for sale.
Now I wonder if they got what is this? It's a stool for $5. A futuristic stool?
There's one bid.
Is it from Sweden by any chance?
Yeah, there's one bid is $5.
They can't even give the stuff away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
They have to recoup money somehow.
Oh, wait, is this her chair that she sat in her office?
Well, sit is a generous way of phrasing it.
You mean rubbed her entire body against?
Yeah.
Sprawled out on
yours for $18.
Bar stool for $16. I mean, it's
from the tranny bar they went to that used to be Cisco's restaurant. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure her hobbit feet were all over that chair, man.
This is now the one caveat with this is that you have to actually pick it up. They will not ship it to you. You can buy it. And we have some people in Canada who said they would pick stuff up for us.
They won't even ship it to you?
They won't ship it to you.
They can't afford the shipping?
It's
Nope.
not, it's
Well,
not worth the
it's not that
shipping
they
price.
can't afford it.
You have
Nope.
you have to
They'll
pick it
lose
up
money doing
So if
that.
you're in Toronto,
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this?
I think this is sad, dude. This is sad.
I mean,
is this
it's the
does
nail
it-
in the coffin. It's not coming back.
now? Does this mean the end of Kurtzman Trek? Is this just now? It's just a formality.
You know what? I don't even know anymore. I say that because even earlier today, I was hearing whispers of Russell T Davies still working on Doctor Who, and I'm like, well, these people aren't learning their lessons, man. Like, if that's true, then Kurtzman is probably still in.
It is interesting that they're auctioning off these.
Sorry about that.
It's interesting that they're auctioning off these because I was just watching something like the transporter pads that they used in a bunch of them have been in use since the original series, and they just turned it upside down. So there's sets that they keep for years and years. Even I heard on X-Men on Doomsday, a lot of the X-Men shit had sets from the previous X-Men movies.
Mhm.
So the fact that they're immediately just no, we don't need it. We don't need any of
Yeah,
this.
we don't need it. It's fine. It's over.
Because they're still doing Star Trek movies, even if it's separate from everything. Like you would think they would try to reuse something, but nope. Get out.
Get it out of here.
Yeah.
$5. Take it or leave it.
It's
Pick it
bad.
up yourself. Will not
You
deliver.
know, I say this. Well, I've been saying it lately anyway, but I say this a lot. It's weird to me that again, after Return to the Jedi, Star Wars merch went up in sales. Man, there was a drought of Star Wars between Jedi and Phantom Menace, and it's still outsold like every other fandom, and they can't even give this shit away.
Well, that was because it was made by the expanded universe authors that actually liked the shit that they were working on and wanted to build and respect the previous movies as opposed to this, which I think it's pretty well been confirmed that if you liked or wanted previous, I think even said like, stop having your expectations be the previous shows, start getting new expectations. And that's just not how you continue continuity of fandom at all.
Let's talk about this. Inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge failure.
Speaking
you probably saw this promo.
Is it Fat Han Solo?
Oh, you gotta see this. I'm not gonna play the music, but this is your Leia.
Oh no.
I feel like some people are really overreacting about this. She's fucking not ugly. Yeah, she's wearing too much makeup, and that's not the best hairstyle, but her outfit's from the expanded universe, and my god, at least they're adding original trilogy characters. It's a tacit admission that they were fucking stupid.
Oh yes,
By the way,
it is an admission that they did everything wrong when it came to Galaxy's Edge.
Look,
She's
as
not as
someone
bad
who's
as the
been
Han
to
Solo that I saw.
Disneyland, as someone who's gone to Disneyland for like well over 25 years, the face characters never look like the originals. I mean,
No, I didn't have I didn't have a problem with how she looked. Honestly, I laughed because I was like, look at that. Look at that desperation. They need to go back to the original trilogy. That's what they should have done from the start. And they're admitting it here. Finally, they're bringing in the original trilogy characters to Galaxy's Edge when they took them out too. Like there was a big show done at, was it at Tomorrowland or something like that? There was a huge Star Wars show that had original trilogy characters, sequel trilogy characters, and they took it out. They were like, nah, we're done. We're done. We have our Star Wars sequel trilogy now, so we can focus on that. I laughed. I don't care how she looks. I think she looks great. Honestly, like she's Leia. She's never going to look like Carrie Fisher. The Han Solo, the guy that's doing Han Solo as well, he's not going to look like what's
The
Harrison
costumes.
Ford.
Yeah.
He's not gonna look like Han. They're not gonna look like Leia, but they're just the fact that they're bringing these characters to Galaxy's Edge after all this time. To me, I just laughed at it because I'm like, they're admitting failure. Like they failed when it came to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Well, let's get it from the source.
Josh
Read this
tomorrow?
if you would, Badger. I'll zoom in on it, and then there's a comment that I want to make sure we get.
Disney spent $1 billion in 2019 building a Star Wars theme park where you were not allowed to meet Luke, Leia, Han, or Darth Vader. Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland was set on Batuu, a backwater planet in a narrow window between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. By that timeline, I believe he talks about how like all the original characters were gone. And yeah.
Well, here's what. Wait, no, sorry.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah, it is us. But this is from someone, Peachy Keenan. It's a little long, but you need to read this. He was there. He worked on the Star Wars land. Does anyone call it Galaxy's Edge? I call it Star Wars land.
I think
Anyways,
most people call it Galaxy's Edge. I think.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge.
yeah, but it's Star Wars land. What that's the name to me. But whatever. Badger, if you would, this goes into detail.
I was at Disney when the land launched. In fact, I personally wrote a lot of the copy for the Star Wars Land rides and Star Wars Hotel in the marketing materials and for the website. When I say there was crushing disappointment, almost a feeling of betrayal that the whole thing was on the new IP and not the original IP, I am not exaggerating. Disney made the decision to invest this money in order to support the new trilogy, which they thought would erase the old one in the minds of fans. The level of hubris around this is one of the business industry history books. Yeah, one for the history books. Bob Chapek, who was head of parks at the time, since fired in disgrace, was in charge of greenlighting all creatives in Star Wars Land. He killed things like a life-size bantha ride, where guests would ride around the land on top of a bantha. He killed the live show at the cantina. And most importantly, he gave the land its own lame subplot where you could use your phone to scan kiosks and get some code messages deciphered, so you were part of the resistance, but it had no payoff.
But pause there, Badger. I played that stupid game. I don't want to be on my phone while I'm at a theme park. It was embarrassing. There was no payoff to it. You just went around and scanned things. You collected this, you collected that. That's a secret. And it leads to what exactly? It led to nothing. Anyways, please continue.
Was that at both? Because there's a Galaxy Edge in California as well, right?
It was definitely at Disneyland. There were perks. I remember doing it. Some of the things didn't work, so you couldn't. If you're one of these people completionists, there's no way you can complete it. But there were things you could do, like you could launch like sound effects in front of the Millennium Falcon, which made it sound like TIE fighters are flying overhead and bombing you. You could activate robots with it. But that was about as far as you can go with it.
Well,
I'm wondering if that was at the Orlando park, because I've been to Galaxy's Edge in Orlando and I don't even remember that.
You download an app to play the game.
It was the Disneyland app that you.
When this was first announced, I assumed it would be like the Harry Potter land at Universal. The one in Florida is much better, but it's so simple. You've got a wand. If you know where to go, the wand does little tricks. It's real, that motivates buying a wand. It's the music is playing everywhere. Even the smells, even when you go to the bathroom, who's in there moaning? What's her name? Moaning
Myrtle.
Oh, Moaning Myrtle.
Also, there were shops in the movie that were in there, so you had a familiarity.
Right.
You wanted to go to Green Guts. You wanted to go to the other stores.
Yeah.
Anyways,
if you could continue, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying I see chat saying it. Yeah, I distinctly remember Kathy Kennedy being the one that they were saying, like, why would we focus on the old stuff? We already got those fans. We need to focus on our properties because that's the future. But I'm sure Chapek was also
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So then reality struck. They made a trilogy that destroyed the OG characters. They elevated an insufferably annoying Mary Sue girl boss, added a pathetic loser son of Han, a divorced Leia and Han, a disillusioned and bitter Luke, and then killed Luke, Han, and Leia.
Wait a second. Let that sink in for a second. And guess who's saying this? A woman is saying this. And she acknowledges this again, second time today. Someone pointing out things we have been saying a long time, but she was there when it happened. Sorry to keep interrupting, Badger.
Nope, that's fine. Results: J.J. Abrams' career was finished as a filmmaker. Rian Johnson was wrecked. Kathleen Kennedy is finally out as head of Lucas. Chapek out. Disney movies are garbage. The greatest entertainment IP ever created was lit on fire to appease the egos of the geniuses who bought it, and thought they could outdo the original genius. And now it's too late. No one cares that Darth will be walking around again to John Williams' score. The new Leia-faced character looks like Brenda from HR. By the way, Tomorrowland already had stormtroopers, the original ones, not the fat ones, Jedis and Darth in a wonderful live show for years. My kids all took part in lightsaber battles against Darth Vader many times. It was hilarious and thrilling. Killed in favor of the new slop. Absolutely over.
Yeah, that show was great. It had a bunch of Star Wars characters. That show was great. And even when the new, even when Rey came out in that show, she was featured in that show when the first movie came out. So she was even there. But that show was amazing. I loved that show.
And I didn't know about this, but Peachy Keenan, which is a long way of saying that yes, Kathleen Kennedy made the cut for my upcoming book, Supervillains: Architects of America's Decline. Oh wow.
Something we've been saying for years, that they systematically killed all of our established heroes because can't have that.
Nope.
Wow. I'll get that book. That looks great. What do we think about all this? And I'm going to bring up some photos of the on it. I think actually of all of them, the guy who plays Luke looks the worst. But what do you guys think?
Luke has been there for a little while.
Right.
But I honestly, like you could see the failure of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I've been to the one in Florida, and you can't, like, it's so out of the way
Yeah.
that I had to ask for directions. Like, am I going the right way to get to Galaxy's Edge? Like, I couldn't find it. And when you finally get there, the only reason that you know that you are in Galaxy's Edge is because of the Millennium Falcon. You know, because of the ships. Like, that's it. That's the only reason. You don't recognize the music. You don't see a lot of characters out unless like they happen to be out and about while you're walking around. So that's the only reason, is because of the ships that you see. That's the only reason that you know that you're in Star Wars land. I went into one of the, I can't remember what that bar was called, but I went into that bar, which I think is no longer theirs, and I don't even remember. But this, it just looks like a generic sci-fi set. It doesn't look or feel like Star Wars at all. And so knowing now that they absolutely are saying that, yeah, it's a failure. We're going back. We're bringing back all of the Star Wars characters that you know. We're finally going to be playing the music that you know. Because if you compare Galaxy's Edge to Harry Potter, you know that when you walk into oh my gosh, when you walk into oh my god, why am I thinking Diagon Alley? When you walk into Diagon Alley, you know that you're in Diagon Alley. You walk straight onto the movie set. The stores are the same. Everything is the same. And you see Gringotts like right in front of you. It's amazing. You really know, and you're immersed in Star Wars, or I'm sorry, in Harry Potter. It's just like you said, like you see people wandering around using their wands, doing all of these things. It's incredibly immersive. You want to be there. You don't want to leave. You don't want to leave. You want to be there because you're just around everything that you know from the movies. When you go to Galaxy's Edge, there's like that ship right there. And then there's another ship like a little bit farther away. Like you're just like, oh, okay, this is nice. And then you leave. You don't want to stay there. There's really no reason to stay.
You know what's
You're
funny?
like, wow,
Last
okay, I'm
year,
gonna get my picture in front of the Millennium Falcon and bounce because there's nothing there.
yeah, it's funny. Last year, when my daughter and I went to Walt Disney World, the only ride we've never done in Galaxy's Edge was Rise of Resistance, and so we decided to do it there. You walk to Galaxy's Edge, you go like 20 feet, and there's the entrance to Rise of Resistance. We rode it and then walked out. We walked 20 feet into Galaxy's Edge, and that's as far as we got at Walt Disney World. That's how much we didn't care about it.
I don't have a problem with this Han Solo. He's no Gaston, but look at this Chewie outfit. It looks like a Temu special. Like that Chewie costume looks bad. And here's a look. I found Luke. Here's the look at the guy who plays Luke. I don't know. This is not.
Is that a chick?
Yeah, not great.
Mark Hamill always looks so manly.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah. There's Luke.
I swear I thought that was a lesbian.
Now, is there a thing where they're slightly off model so they don't get in trouble?
I don't think, if you looked like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, or Carrie Fisher, would you be working at Disneyland?
I know.
I mean, you get what is available to you, and this is what was available.
Hey, Alan, I've seen hot chicks working at In-N-Out, dude. So I mean, you're
but you get treated better.
Really matter.
You get treated better at In-N-Out than you do at Disneyland.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wait, and remind me of this. Do you have to pay extra for that part of the park?
No.
It's not extra.
No, they
it's just
stopped
a
doing
part
that
of
a
the
long
park.
time ago.
But almost everything is an upcharge. Everything that you do, and it's like an outdoor shopping mall. So
Dante, what it was you had to schedule time to go to the park. So you couldn't just show up and walk through it. You had to be there in a certain window.
Wait, you have to make a reservation to go to the park? That part? Wow. No.
Oh, when it first opened, definitely.
And remember, didn't they had a Star Wars hotel as well?
Yeah.
That opened and closed like in a year.
Yeah, 1 year.
Didn't they? Like it opened. It was open for like a year before they announced it being closed.
It was already forgotten.
Well, I wrote an article on Film Threat, 5 ways to fix Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So just simple things like, how about serve alcohol? It's only the one bar where you get alcohol, and your time in there is timed. You go to a assigned seat. So you're sitting with other people that aren't part of your party, very awkwardly ordering drinks, and you can get 2. It was weird.
Guess what? That's not a problem anymore.
It's not.
No, because no one's going to the.
No one's going.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. Like, have some parades. Where are some aliens, droids, smugglers? Maybe they fix that part. And then just, I don't know, some activities that do not require additional fees. So
the
I
droid
read
building.
this article. Yeah.
Oh, that's the only thing that I really loved about it was the Coke bottles. The shape of the Coke bottles. That's the only thing that I really liked about Galaxy's Edge.
Can you share my screen real quick, Chris?
Sure, of course.
Just because it has all of them together. I feel like people are, I get it. Disney sucks. They fucked up. These costumes are fine. They're just as good as any fan cosplay.
Or any other character
just like
in the
he
park.
did in Mandalorian season 2. The Han Solo's literally wearing the Return of the Jedi outfit, and she's wearing an expanded universe flight jumpsuit with the same vest and shit she wears. So it's like, say what you want about the actors playing them, the costumes are fine.
Yeah.
What I wish they would do is they bring the new droid in from Spaceballs too. The box.
Yeah, that would be great. That was so we saw a little tease of Spaceballs, the new one, and they showed us there's like a droid that's like BB-8, but it's a box. That's a rolling box. I can't wait. The trailer that has come out isn't what we saw, or isn't what's on YouTube right now.
What we saw was just Mel Brooks, but there was actual footage from the film.
There was actual footage from the movie.
I just still can't get over the biggest franchise in the world being completely not profitable at this point.
Yeah.
Like my mind can't even I can't wrap my head around that.
They did it to themselves.
That's like if I handed you a bag of gold bars and you just threw it into the ocean, right? Like that's what it feels like.
Well, think of it this way: the first movie, Force Awakens, it made $1 billion, and no one knew what the movie was about.
They didn't know what it was about.
I know, but that's how much money. If they had made a good movie, it would have been more than 3 movies that would have made $1 billion.
Yeah. I have one thing. It's slightly longish. I don't know if we want to read this, but it relates to everything we're talking about. It's about the Star Wars franchise.
Is there a highlight or
just read it? Just read it, Badger. If you
Since Rise of Skywalker closed the Skywalker saga in December 2019, Disney has announced at least 10 new Star Wars theatrical films. 0 have made it to a theater. The one that finally broke the streak is a $166 million repackaged Disney Plus TV season, which they swear it's not. Rian Johnson's trilogy, Benioff and Weiss trilogy, Kevin Feige's film, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, Taika Waititi's project, Damon Lindelof's Rey film, Stephen Knight's Rey film, Guillermo del Toro's Jabba movie, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, Dave Filoni's Mandalorian team-up film, all announced with press releases, all dead, parked, or delayed. Then Lucasfilm did the simplest thing possible. They took what was going to be Mandalorian Season 4 and moved it to theaters. The budget is the tell. $166 million. Per the California Film Commission, Rise of Skywalker cost $416 million. Force Awakens cost $638 million. Even The Acolyte, the Disney show, Disney Plus show, Disney canceled for being too expensive, came in at $230 million. The Star Wars theatrical film restarting the franchise cost less than the Star Wars streaming show they just killed for costing too much. The math only works if you understand what broke. Disney paid $4 billion for Lucasfilm in 2012, planning a Marvel-style theatrical engine. When Rise of Skywalker landed badly with fans, they pivoted. Star Wars was moving to Disney Plus. The Mandalorian was the anchor. Disney Plus then ran up $11 billion in cumulative operating losses before reaching profitability. And Iger called the aggressive streaming push a mistake in 2023. So now the flagship Disney Plus show is the movie that has to restart theatrical. A TV cast, a TV director, a story originally planned as a streaming season, running a summer window against Mission Impossible and Marvel. What you're watching in that trailer is a $4 billion acquisition, 6 years of aborted directors, and a collapsed streaming thesis, all being carried on the back of one puppet baby.
I would push back a little bit. I mean, Jon Favreau is not a TV director.
Yeah,
he
made Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a TV director. But
well,
is The Mandalorian gonna bomb?
Yes.
I mean, because I've looked for tickets. Tickets went on sale Friday, and there are plenty of seats, even at the AMC Burbank 16. It's the home theater. It is the biggest theater in LA area. That's where people go for the big films, and there are plenty of seats. Plenty.
Yeah, it's got a lot going against it. I mean, like it says carried on the back of one little puppet that's lost all of its hype around it.
Yeah, people are going.
This is a movie that's coming off of the back of a TV show. Not a lot of people watch that TV show. They're just going to see this movie and like that's it. Oh, a Star Wars movie. There's no hype from it. It's coming off of the back of a TV show. That I think that like they're putting this out because they have to put it out. I think that they're really betting on what's his name? Ryan Gosling's movie Starfighter. I think that's their real like, okay, this is our return to form. I think that's what they're betting on. Is that movie being good? Not necessarily this one. I think they just have to put it out.
It's also not
for so long.
It's funny that they criticize the movie for costing $100 and some odd million. I would argue that all those movies should have been made for $100 some odd million.
Yeah.
So maybe it's back down to what it is. Jon Favreau talked about it. You know, this is more than just a television show. It was done with a theatrical budget and things like that. Also, he admits that you do not have to have seen the Mandalorian series to get into this. And after seeing the first 7 minutes of it, it's true.
17. We saw the
17 minutes. Okay, 17 minutes.
Actually.
But it's true. You know, I quickly got into the story once it started, not knowing much about who the Mandalorian is and all that stuff. He does a pretty good job of at least setting the stage, but that's not necessarily going to bring people into this to buy tickets or do pre-orders.
Right.
Because it feels no excitement. I don't, you know, I've seen it. Most people haven't, and so they're not excited about it.
Yeah, because I mean, who's like, other than, you know, people who are really into entertainment, who's listening to Jon Favreau? The regular movie goer isn't like searching up an interview with Jon Favreau saying that like, oh yeah, you don't have to watch the other 3 seasons of The Mandalorian in order to watch this one.
Yeah, that's why they're
just going to be like, I don't know what this is.
That's why they hire influencers.
Yeah. So there was Mandalorian hype for quite some time, and it peaked with season 2, and then season 3 killed all of it.
And by the way, there are a ton of videos that have just been released from influencers and YouTubers visiting the set of this movie, and they're just dropping
Another reason to film it in California.
What's that?
Another reason to film it in California.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steph.
Didn't they already do that? Or was it for the set of the Mandalorian like TV show? Because
No,
I swear they've already been to the sets.
For the movie, and they are dropping like every day I see a new one.
Yeah, and Book of Boba Fett also ruined everyone's opinion, where they all of a sudden had 2 Mandalorian episodes in it. And then I saw someone say, oh, the Razor Crest is back. Yeah, he just got the same exact model of the same shit.
Well,
I feel like everyone's just saying
they explain that was a gift to the Mandalorian.
Right. I feel like everyone's just saying we don't believe you to Jon Favreau, because he said multiple times this isn't season 4. I still have season 4 on my desk. This was written specifically for theaters, and everyone just
said
doesn't seem to believe it.
It was the change of course from season 4. He admitted that.
I finally got the spelling right on the little header down there, but let's
Thanks for letting us know, Chris.
I don't know. Look, the estimates for this are below Solo. Like,
yes.
In terms of advanced sales, is this gonna do like no one I think could have predicted Super Mario would be as successful as it was. And it was mostly walk-up business. People that did not buy advanced tickets. They just went to a theater, bought a ticket, and saw the movie. Right? So could this because having seen that new trailer they dropped, this is a kids movie. It's a very it's mostly for kids. And the plot is very much out of a mission-based video game. You know, the Mandalorian is a bounty hunter tracking down all these different ones in the card deck. That's it. That's a game plot.
Well, I was saying it's going to feel more like Indiana Jones than it will Star Wars.
They've been trying so hard to capture like that young audience, the kid audience. And you said that like there were walk-up ticket sales for the Mario movie. Same thing for Minecraft, right? The kids would get dropped off at the theater and want to go and see these movies, and buy a ticket and go in and see it. And Star Wars has failed tremendously in trying to capture that young audience. They never did it. They were never able to do it. So now all they're left with are really like the Disney adults and the Star Wars shows. Like that's it. And then some, like maybe like just a passive Star Wars fan who's like, okay, yeah, I'll go and check it out. And
here's my prediction.
They don't have that fan base anymore. They lost it. And they've lost that fan base while failing to capture that younger fan base that they were aiming to capture. They never got them.
Yeah, here's my prediction. I think the movie is going to be better than we think it is, but that will not necessarily translate into being profitable.
Right. Well, you know what is profitable? Buckets.
Yeah.
Here we go. You look at all the buckets and cups, and you've got a Grogu puppet container, Grogu's hover pram, popcorn bucket, Mando and Grogu popcorn bucket, Grogu the tin bucket, collector tins, Mando's helmet, the AT-AT, drink tumblers. I don't know. What do you think?
Plushies.
I mean, Star Wars has always been about the merch from, the beginning.
I'd be shocked if this movie makes more than 400 million.
Same.
I'm with you.
Maybe 350.
Under
and I think from what it looks like, that's kind of what they're expecting. I don't think they're expecting it to be $1 billion.
This is just minimizing damage to Starfighter, which everyone actually is excited about because of Gosling and some of the things we've heard. So yeah,
I think the priority
it won't last 45 days.
I think the priority here for Lucasfilm is not be a bad movie.
That's the priority. There is a baby Greedo in the film that we saw in that new trailer. There's a baby Greedo in a quick shot, also in the hover pram.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be a baby Jabba the Hutt?
The little Babu freaks, back a bad baby. Yeah, all that shit. Like,
oh my God,
that only goes so far.
Such a bad baby, naughty baby.
It only goes so far.
Baby. It really irritated. What irritated me so much was how they moved.
Yes.
How the puppetry on it in the trailer. It irritated me so much because I was like, it's 2026. It should not look like that. Why does it look? Why are they moving like that? It looked terrible.
It looked bad, and it gives
looked
you
like someone tried their hand at stop motion for the very first time. Like that's how it looked.
They
should just CG'd it.
But worse, those characters are like the minions of that movie. That's why I say that this movie looks like it's for kids, because that those Babu fricks, whatever their race are, they're just minions, and the puppetry. Yes. I have a newfound appreciation for Jim Henson and his company. Look at how great the puppetry is for those puppets. And now some of this stuff, you can't, he makes it look easy.
Well, here's the thing. We just got Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Right? And Rocky was done via puppetry. They did such a great job. And I'm seeing all of these behind the scenes videos coming out on Twitter from that and how they did that, how they brought it to life. And I'm just like, that is it done right. This looked so cheap. Like it bothered me so much, regardless of how I feel about Star Wars or whatever. That really bugged me, was the puppetry that was being done with like Babu Freak and his family and little baby Yoda. It really bothered me because I was like, it shouldn't look like that.
Yeah. It was bad.
But is Lizzo in the movie?
Well, Jack Black is now, it's canon. He's part of it. Yeah. So, all right.
I feel like a better question, honestly, would be like, is the age of the franchise over, right? At this point, because I think, there's been a lot of a lot of non-franchise movies lately that have done pretty well in the box office, and I think people are more apt to go watch that. I think people are just exhausted, man. I think they don't want to invest in another franchise, right? They don't want to invest in another 3 to 4 movies for the next 10 years. I think people are over it. And part of it is because there's been nothing but shit for the past 10 years. But I think because of that, people are over the franchise, man. I think this might be like the end of all of this.
Oh, we say
that was the message.
Good movie comes out, and then we want more of it. Sorry,
go ahead.
I'm not saying there can't be a sequel, but I don't think planning like the whole 10-year strategy thing works anymore, right? Like, I don't think that's
that was the message hammered in every presentation from every studio, is the return to original material. I think Disney was the only one who really didn't present much original material from everyone else.
Yeah. We'll get to your comments. We have a couple more news stories to get to. Let's do that now. How to avoid media baiting with Josh Duhamel. He was on a recent episode of Piers Morgan. We have a short clip here. We've been inundated with celebrities who I mean, look, the celebrities and actors are ultimately responsible for what they say, but they are often baited by media. And you have to be aware of that. Watch how he handles it. Watch how Josh handles it here.
What do you feel about the state of America right now? To the rest of the world,
you got to put it on the screen there.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Why don't I just add it to the screen so you guys can all see? And I'll start it over here.
Well, maybe you should take it off now.
Here we go.
What do you feel about the state of America right now? To the rest of the world, it feels febrile. It feels very divided. It feels quite toxic in many ways. What do you feel about it?
You know, I got a lot of feelings about it. If I'm being honest, it stresses me out quite a bit because, you know, we are very divided. I think more than anything, there's a hate problem in this country. I feel like people have become really okay with hate. And what I've realized is that when you're so full of that, you start to become the thing that you despise. And I've recognized a lot of behavior in people that I don't believe would otherwise behave like that if they weren't filled with so much of that. So I just feel, you know, for me personally, I found myself starting to feel some of that stuff. So I really kind of left it all alone and started going to church more often, believe it or not. I started trying to rise above it a bit and just get back to church and just pray and meditate and sort of think about things that are above all the noise.
Are you a fan of President Trump?
I'm not getting into all that with you, Piers. I can't do that. Listen, a friend of mine showed up with a T-shirt that said, "Nobody cares what actors think." And I happen to buy that notion. People don't care what I think. I'm here to make cool TV shows, cool movies. I'm not trying to divide my audience. I'm just trying to be of service to, you know, people who want to, you know, be entertained. And it's not my job to be involved in politics.
That's gloriously refreshing, Josh. I have to say, to hear someone from Hollywood say that, because so many have, and I say this with great respect, I know lots of people in Hollywood, have a lot of time for lots of them, but some have a massively inflated sense of their own importance when it comes to talking of matters in the news or politics, whatever.
Here's the thing, Piers. I mean, just because you have a platform doesn't mean you get to preach down to people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go. There you go. What do you guys think? Did he handle that well?
I think his career is over.
But I think he handled it well because he said, you know, there's a lot of, but he wasn't pointing at one side or the other, just saying you can turn into that thing that you despise, you dislike, you hate. If you're hating all the time, you kind of become that.
Dude, what he said was completely right. But unfortunately for him, on that side, if there's not total allegiance, then you are one of them, right? You're one of the other. Yeah. So this could hurt his career.
Right. But this is a problem in our sphere. And all he's saying is be careful when fighting monsters that you don't become one, because it happens to us where all I have to do is say Disney and, oh, fuck Disney, fuck that. And the reactions to things are so disproportionate because that's just what we do around here. We hate Disney, we hate Marvel. And if you find anything you enjoy, then all of a sudden you get branded as shill, with very few exceptions or nuance or balance.
But see, Badger, I don't believe that, because we don't. right? Like we don't
We
spell
do.
hate,
I see it
man.
all the time, and I love it. Some of us try not to, but we
because
do.
If there's something we like and Disney does it right, we give them their credit. We'll say it was actually good, right? Like we won't shit on it just to shit on it. We'll at least watch it first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, the new Darth Maul. No one's talking about it. I thought it was great, but
I've heard
and
that.
it's Disney.
Yes, I very much am enjoying it, and
Well,
I
that's
also
why I always-
immediately call the fucking shill.
Well, that's why I always say that we hate it because it's bad. They love it because we hate it. You know,
Mhm.
there's
Right.
just the other side. I mean, there's, I like hanging out with us more than I do my liberal friends because it just devolves into how Trump is the most. He's a fascist. He's Hitler. And then it just devolves, and no reason can ever be said in conversations once that starts, once that happens.
Well, and the thing that really sucks, man, we've been seeing it a lot lately, man, is that there are a lot of based people in Hollywood, and you could tell they just want to work. They just want to do their work, man, and live their life, and they don't want to have to deal with this shit. And they're constantly being pulled into it. I think there's a lot more based people than most people think in Hollywood.
Yeah, in the D-Files, these animators don't make a lot of money, and they have kids to put through college, and a lot of them just had to shut up and just deal with it. And that's just, to me, it would be hard for me to work in an environment like that.
I did like his answer, especially the part where he said, like, I'm here to serve people who want to be entertained. Like, that is my position as an actor. I appreciated the fact that he said that, like, I'm here to serve you if you want to be entertained. Like, that's because that's what you're doing. You're giving someone, you're providing a service. You're an entertainer. You're here to entertain. We want to be entertained. You're providing that service to us. And he's pretty much like very much it's this self-awareness that he has, that, like, I know what I can do. I'm an actor, and that's what I can do, and I'm not going to get into any of that political stuff. I like that he said just because you have a platform doesn't mean you have to talk down to people. The fact that he said you're talking down to people, that also gave you a little bit of, like, yeah, he's pretty much self-aware that he doesn't live the same type of lives or in the same class as regular people. That when you live a different and you're in a different, like, class of people, you're in the elite of Hollywood. When you use your platform for something, you technically are kind of speaking down to people. At least that's how a lot of people take it. That's why it's like, just shut up and act. I don't care about your opinion. You don't live the same life that we do. You don't. Everything is pretty much easy street for you guys. You don't have to suffer. That's what, like, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to deal with everyday things, living paycheck to paycheck, like a lot of people do. You can go and shop at all of these rich grocery stores. Like, you don't live the same life as other people. So the fact that he acknowledged that I'm going to use my platform, if I do that, it would seem like I'm preaching down to people. I appreciated that. So I like what he had to say. I think that, like, he kind of opened the door, honestly, for Piers Morgan to ask him if he liked Trump because he gave such a long answer, talking about hate and all that stuff. So he sort of opened the door for that question, but he immediately closed it.
Yep. Yeah. He danced around it really well.
Well, he didn't just dance around it. He told Pierce, I'm not going to get into this with you. So he was very direct, man. And I kind of wish more actresses did that, where, if they're asked a dumb question by a journalist, and I say that very loosely, they need to start saying, you know what, that's not something I want to get into.
Did you say what Tom Cruise said? No, we're just here to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
He likes Trump.
Well, this is the thing, ending on this, what you said actually at CinemaCon, Alan, we're talking about all the criticism that David Ellison was getting. The guy who's running Paramount now. Paramount, Skydance, the whole shebang, WB. They don't like him because he doesn't hate Trump.
Or he doesn't have TDS.
The 2,000 actors that signed all that is because he's a Trump supporter, not because they actually think there'll be less jobs.
Well, that's the thing. Is he a Trump supporter, or is he friendly with Trump?
He has not called for Trump to be crucified, so he is a Trump supporter.
Again,
is he friendly with
Trump? But does that mean he voted for him?
Yeah, is he friendly with the president of the United States?
To them, that's a difference without distinction.
Right, yeah. But in their mind, they don't see reality as reality. And the question is, who cares if he voted for Trump or didn't vote for Trump? He's friendly with the president, as everyone should be friendly with the president. When we saw the slate that was coming out of Paramount for this year, it's not it's not conservative paradise here. It's all over the board from politically. There's an all-black movie that takes place in Africa. Pretty sure that's not a conservative film.
That actually looks, it's a completely original, not a race swap thing, not anything. It's a completely original fable that they put with a whole based on a
book, yes,
based on a book. But it's like I give them credit for that. They're not like, let's just do Cinderella, but all this or whatever. Race swap a classic. It's an original book, and I give them credit for that.
Yeah, so there'll
even
be
a
no
return to the
Asian
middle is still too much for them.
There's also like this misconception, man, that, you know, if you're an actor in Hollywood, you're making millions of dollars and living the good life, man. I say probably 70-80% of the actors in Hollywood, for the most part, are working gig to gig. Like they're not making like this big money, man. Josh Duhamel is a working actor, meaning, you know, he's not a rich dude. I mean, rich by Hollywood standards. He's not rich. So I mean, this guy has to take the gigs as they come. And I think there's a lot of actors who are like that. So they want to keep working. They don't want to piss off the audience. They don't want to, you know, play politics. They just want to make their mortgage every month. So, like I said, I think there's just more base people than people realize in Hollywood. But unfortunately, they have been silenced so much and threatened that if they do speak out or not go with the flow, that they will never work again.
Let's go to your comments, and I have a special treat to close out the show. You do not leave. This is very special. I've been waiting to show you this.
CB the Legend for $1.99. R&B and Kristen Harloff think $3 billion for Doomsday. They better hope it hits that much.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't think the hype is there. Look, Alan and I were in the room and saw the trailer. It's a good tease. Still don't know about the story.
And what evidence do you have that R&B actually thinks this way?
Yeah, like, did he actually say that, or is that?
Yeah, like his entire X feed for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's hyping it up pretty good. That being said, if we get a trailer and we see Deadpool and Wolverine fighting Toby, Spider-Man, and a bunch of other characters and incursions, yeah, it could make a lot. But $3 billion is
that's wild. $3
is that
billion?
a reason to buy a ticket?
$3 billion
There's
is pushing
no way.
Michael McKeehan for $1.99. Did you guys see Kurt Russell's Buffalo Sabres video?
I did not.
Nope.
We should see it.
Pharaoh of Vibes for $9.99. Notice how Galaxies use the General Leia, not the iconic Princess Leia in the white with buns. The most girl boss looking version. When you think Leia, you don't imagine this. Can't help themselves. That wasn't General Leia's costume. I keep people see people say that was not. She never wears that costume in any sequel trilogy. It's from the expanded universe.
Yeah. But
from the
that was from Empire Strikes Back.
No, it's her white jumpsuit that they made to look similar to, but it's her outfit from the Rebellion comics.
But what about her most girl boss moment when she killed Jabba the Hutt?
In a bikini.
What about that outfit?
But also that white outfit was only in one movie.
Yeah.
That's the only time she's ever worn that white gown or dress or whatever that is.
And she wore it in a garbage dump too.
SAS for $2. I'm telling Gary that you didn't salute us Raiders.
Oh, did Gary send? Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
And thank
Thanks,
you,
Raiders.
Gary. I was listening to Gary before we started at a nooner.
Mike Poe for $11.99. Chris Allen, love your stuff. I had a funny message to send, but my stepson, K's, this doesn't go through or does enjoy. Love the show.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Go through.
Graph up for $2. For fuck's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus.
Thanks, GraphWeb.
Wraith for 10. Star Wars won't regain its fandom and popularity until the sequel trilogy is either made non-canon or have the most hated parts of the trilogy fixed and retconned. So never.
Yeah, good luck with both.
Yeah.
Flying blind on a rocket cycle for $4.99. The best chance for Mando and Grogu may be that it turns out to be a fun kids movie with no woke elements.
I think that's what we'll get. That is what you're gonna get.
Did you see that Oscar Isaac came out and said that the line somehow Palpatine returned was a reshoot? They added it.
Reshoot. And his wig is bad. He just did the Josh Horowitz podcast We're gonna pull clips from that for Wednesday.
I didn't read the last one from Wraith, whatever that was.
Did I miss it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it. Can you find it? All right. Sorry, we'll get to it.
Okay. Future Boy for 5. I waited 30 plus years for Boba Fett to escape the Sarlacc pit. Book of Boba Fett makes me wish he got digested.
Yeah.
The Napsky for 5. The one popcorn bucket I was hoping for was a decapitated boar's head from Send Help.
Ah, that would be great.
Maybe Lord of the Flies, you'll get one of those. CB the Legend for $4.99. Both sides are becoming ignorant with hate. It made me step away from listening to YouTube and media for a while. It's no middle ground in media.
Well, fuck that loser.
It's just something to be aware of.
Yeah. Here's the one from Rafe. It's in the private chat. If you could read it, Badger.
Nothing we say comes from a place of hate. It comes from a place of love.
For 5, Disney should make George Lucas's planned sequel trilogy either in live action with the roles recast with younger actors or as animated films.
I'd just like to see his notes. What were Lucas's original notes of what he wanted to do?
Pilgrim Media for 2. FYI / or for your information, Disneyland in today's dollars costs $24. What? $2,400?
Oh, Disneyland in today's dollars.
It's definitely not $24, champ. Like, you're dropping mad
Leroy
cash.
Jenkins,
Oh, hey.
for 2. For Alan's windshield repair fund.
We're only $848 away now.
You get a rock break it.
Alan's keeping track.
Jason Nelson for 2. Breaking news: The Savant coming to Apple TV in July. Yeah, just in time for my birthday.
We will get all the episodes, Alan and I cannot wait for that. Hey, let's show something special. Let's end the show with something special, folks.
There we go.
I just, you know what? I
just leave it there.
Here's a trailer. I'm not
The
going to
chat appreciates this. Like,
this is a trailer for this is a trailer for a movie. It might be AI, but I'm telling you, if Hollywood will not give us what we want,
the robots will.
Here we go.
Just when you thought the titties were safe.
Wow, that guy, man.
Hey,
Down to
doll.
the belly button, huh?
What a set of headlights on you. Listen, I didn't mean nothing by it. Let me buy you dinner to make it up to you.
Miss Monroe?
Fuck you too, tit for brains.
Oh no.
Hello? Someone there?
This is her lost film, right?
Oh no. Robot monster.
Detective, it's the titty killer. You need to come with us.
He's figured out time travel.
Oh, good God.
Every
Oh my God.
titty woman who's ever lived is at stake.
We've lost a cup size from the global average this morning.
When this clock hits 0, it's over. We might as well be ass men.
That's the sequel.
Sir, we need a hero.
You're basically invisible to him.
Sir, I'm an A cup. I've been invisible my whole life. I understand
Wow.
this.
Bro, Sonya Blade?
I think we're late.
Just when you thought the titties
AI is
were
getting
safe.
there, man. I'm telling you.
I've never seen this many great tits in one place.
You really think he'll fall for the trap? If we don't stop him, I want you to shoot me. I'm not living on flat Earth.
Well, what do we think?
I would be there day one.
I'm just telling you.
That's day one.
I'm just telling you, we're at the point now. This could be a whole movie. I know it's ridiculous. Would you watch this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
would, honestly. Yeah.
It's so dumb. We all know it's dumb, but there so many of the Hollywood movies we go to are so Alan and I talk about it. Most movies are mid. Most movies are like, that was okay. That was fine, but not great. I would watch this if they leaned into this time traveling titty killer.
If they have the balls to put out a movie called Titty Killer, I guarantee you people will show up for that movie.
I've never hated wokeness more than I do now.
Yes. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I want to see the other 6, like Titty Killer 7.
Yeah, well, there is one. It takes place in space.
I want the spin-off Big Booty Slayer. I think that's
Yeah.
I think this is what AI is not going to be making cinema. But look, some of the real movies that are like this, like exploitation.
Dude, it's getting close, man.
Oh, by the way, take that back. Yes, AI is, but it's going to be used by people like there's some Star Wars AI right now that like all the Beggars Canyon series. The guy's actually like a film editor and like he knows camera angles and all that. It's some of the best Star Wars we've gotten in years. And it just takes someone who actually likes the shit and to hand tailor it.
And you've got actually more and more filmmakers coming out. Steven Soderbergh is kind of playing with it. Roger Avery is making some AI.
Well, Darren Aronofsky is doing a whole
Darren
series.
Aronofsky is doing that Revolutionary War series. I'm just saying it's coming. It's coming. So let's look at final soup here from Andrew Cram.
For 25.
Wow.
Alan's Windshield Repair Fund.
All right, we're down to $823.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So want to thank everybody. Thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADL is 24, and Ololique on Rumble. Everybody plug your channels as we wrap up.
Steph, my nerdy home. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, and also over on Geeks and Gamers.
Sweet.
What's up, guys? Dante, Rebel Riot. Follow me, YouTube, Rumble, and X. And you can catch me this Wednesday with Nina Infinity at 6 p.m. PST.
All right.
Angry Badger, go check out my Lord of the Rings video if you would, and we'll be streaming in about 40 minutes. All the stuff.
And we will raid your stream. That's good.
Nice.
Wednesday, we're back for Hollywood on the Rocks. Friday, a special. And we'll be doing a catch-up review show, reviewing The Mummy, among other movies on Wednesday. And then Friday, our normal show. We're back to no more road streams, Alan.
Although we did pretty good on those road streams.
Yeah, we did well. Only having to pull over like 3 or 4 times for me to pee. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you. We'll see you on Wednesday. Alan?
Let's get out of here.